Hey guys, it's Dwayne here. So today we are going to be taking a look at the large print Thinline Art Edition Net Bible. Man, is that a mouthful. No, I'm not talking about something you bring with you when you go fishing. I'm talking about the Net Bible as in the New English Translation and how Thomas Nelson has packaged this one up for us. Let's take a closer look. Hey guys, it's Dwayne here. So we are going to take a look at this NET Art Edition. It's the latest offering by Thomas Nelson, and we are going to see what it's all about. So when it comes in the mail, this is the first thing you'll see. You will see it come in this pretty nice clamshell box. There it is, Net Bible, large print Thinline Art Edition. Like I said in the intro, this is quite a mouthful, but it's got lots of good stuff. Now this says it's the brown Leathersoft. I think it looks more like a burgundy, but I'm going to open it up and we can debate that in the comments. How does that sound? Just taking a look at the side here. Again, the same details. And then some additional information on the back. I will let you take a look at this. You can pause it and read that if you like. And same with down here, a couple testimonials. So there you have it. That is the box. Now, like always, I point out that we don't always want to see the box. It is what's in the box that matters. So here it is. The NET Art Edition Thinline large print. Now this, as I said before, is a Leathersoft cover. So the just on the outset, first seeing it, it appears that the Leathersoft cover is quite stiff. So it's not quite what I'm used to. They're usually a little softer than this. So right away, I'm kind of taken aback by the stiffness of the cover. But what you'll see is right there on the front, I suspect this might be why it's a little stiffer. Maybe it's a bit thicker to be able to get that woodcut pattern in there. Nonetheless, this is a beautiful woodcut stamping, woodcut inspired, I should say, of a little lamb. So that's the front cover. Stitched around, the perimeter stitching there. You can see it all around there. So here we have the spine. We have Holy Bible written there, and you'll notice that it's kind of vertical there. Is that how you say it? It's vertical. And then, of course, a picture of a cross, maybe behind what looks like the walls of Jerusalem, perhaps. And then the logo, NET Thomas Nelson. Now, this, of course, is nice, the way they've oriented the title here, because most of us with these nice Bibles, we tend to lay them flat on our bookshelves and not like this, right? So that's good. That's a nice little thing. And then, of course, we have the back cover. Okay, nothing too special there. Just a back cover with the Leathersoft. And then, of course, the ISBN number and such there. Now, taking a look at the inside, first thing we come to is the presentation page. Of course, that's pretty standard for Bibles these days. Your title page, table of contents, and to the reader. Again, with Bible translations, I think it's always a good idea to take a read. Take 10 minutes or whatever it takes to read that. It's usually full of a bunch of helpful things. And if there's any comments or notes inside the text, these will explain them to you and how they work. So if this is a Bible you're going to use, read that. Definitely read that. Okay, and then this explains some of the features that come in the Bible. Again, I'll hold this up here just for a second, and you can pause the video and read that if you like. Here's a list of the people who translated the NET translation, the New English Translation. Again, this is great because it is all about transparency. If you're reading the Word of God in your language, you want to know who translated that. So this is great. Flipping over. Then we get into the text. So Genesis. Now this is why it's called the Art Edition. Take a look here. At the beginning of every book, you're going to see an image just like this. It is inspired by a sort of wood-cut stamping type of deal, and they're quite nice. And I will also say that the images that you see in the net translation are 2CV friendly. So what that means, there's no second commandment violation for those who may have convictions about that. So you're not going to see any images of Jesus. You're not going to see any image representations of God either. So this is a 2CV friendly Bible. Of course, when you bump into the first couple pages there, of each book, you'll see a brief summary of what's in the book, like a little survey, as it says, Survey of Genesis, and then you'll get below that, or maybe on the next page, depending on the book and how much content is there, how Christ relates to the book that you're reading. So in this case, it's the book of Genesis, and it will give you a little brief summary of how Christ fits into this book that you're reading. So the font, moving on here, you will get a nice 10.5 point font, which is very readable. This is significantly readable. And I think line matched text is almost standard these days. So what that means is that the words on the lines are going to match up exactly where the words on the line appear on the page behind it. That just means it's going to make things like bleed through and ghosting not as much of an issue. So this one, the bleed through and ghosting, there is no bleed through. I didn't see any at all. And the ghosting is hardly noticeable, even in areas with poetry, like here, for example. So it's not distracting at all, so you can read that without having to worry about what's on the page behind you. So flipping over to the New Testament. Again, essentially the same. Okay, one thing you'll notice about this text is the words of Christ are not in red. So this is just a black letter text. For those, I know some people, it's a grand debate whether you should have the words of Christ in red or not. But for this text, we don't have to worry about the grand debate yet because they are all black text. No red text at all in this. So for those of you who are the persuasion that do not like the red text, you win out on this one. I want to come back into the Psalms because, or Job, that'll work. I'll show you what poetry looks like here. So it does have poetic setting in its double column layout, and you'll see it right here. And that's what it looks like. Again, the ghosting is not very bad at all. I'm not sure what the GSM on this paper is, but it seems to be enough to handle the type that's gone on it. Another thing I want to point out here, taking a look, we have two ribbons. So one is kind of a gold color and another one is kind of a brown color. I'm assuming the brown because of the cover. Again, the cover seems to be a little more burgundy to me. Again, if the cover looks burgundy to you, take a look at that. Or if it looks brown to you, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion. So these ribbons, brown and gold, they are double-sided. And they are also slant cut. Edge cut? Slant cut. They are slant cut, if that makes any sense. Now, for a Bible like this, it's a little bit rough on the cut there. Let me bring this up here so you can see that. It's a little bit rough on the cut there. But again, for the cost of this Bible, this is not a terribly big deal. But, you know, it would be a little bit nice of a presentation to sort of clean that kind of stuff up. But nonetheless, this is what we have. So let's take a look at some of the back matter. We'll flip on over past the New Testament, past the book of Revelation. Oh, let's go Revelation 22. Revelation 22. Almost there. There we go. So at the end of the book, the end of the Bible, you get a couple extra things here. You have a 365-day reading plan. That will get you a reading plan that is based on a morning and an afternoon reading or evening reading. Your morning will be your New Testament and your evening generally will be your Old Testament reading. And then a couple blank pages. I'm sure that's got to do with the signatures. And then some maps. So you get some maps on some nice glossy paper here. Let me just flip it over here. Yeah, there we go. You get some maps on some nice glossy paper there. So just a couple more notes here, just so we are covering all of our bases. I want you to know that this is Smith's own binding. Okay, so the binding is going to last. The binding will probably last longer than the Leathersoft cover will. So it will hold together long after the cover and that begins to peel. Now, the other thing that I want to make note about this cover too is for about a week, I had it on my nightstand beside my bed, and I've been reading it about once a day. And I noticed that we had a couple of really humid days, and you noticed that the cover started to curl. So that's, I don't know if that's going to happen everywhere, but it certainly did happen with me about a week on my nightstand with a couple really humid days. So just be aware of that. But other than that, this is a very beautiful Bible. And I'll just take you a tour of some of the images there that you're going to see. And they make sense. The image makes sense to the book, right? Building a wall, Nehemiah, Job. What are we going to see here? This one will make lots of sense too. So we got the whirlwind, when God comes down and answers the whirlwind. I'm going to take another quick look here. Isaiah will be a good one. Flip. There you go. An eagle. I will mount up with wings like eagles. I will run and not be weary. That verse there. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what you're getting when you order the Net Bible. So let's take a few minutes and we'll talk about a few other things. All right, guys, to conclude on the Net Bible here, the Art Edition, Thinline Large Print Art Edition, let's talk about price. So this guy is registered. It's registered. Everything about it is registered. No, just kidding. No, so it is listed at a price of $44.99 MSRP. But currently on Christianbooks, it is selling for $29.99 American. Okay, I will put the Canadian equivalent right here. I know a lot of you guys watching will be Americans, but I know a small percentage of you, including myself, are Canadian, so I'll show the Canadian values here as well. So is this Bible worth the buy for $29.99? You bet it is. This is solidly constructed. It looks great. It reads well. It will do you fantastically. Now, the one thing I do want to mention, though, is the net translation itself. I've done another video on that. There's a review I did with the full notes. Take a look at that one, because I don't think that this translation specifically should stand on its own. Those notes are fantastic. So if you're going to be doing any serious study with this Bible, make sure to look at the notes. This one doesn't have the notes in it, but you can go to the website, netbible.org. I will put a link in the description below, and you can use that to see all the notes that are relating to the specific passages. But other than that, I would say this is a great little Bible. It won't lead you astray. For devotional use and for casual reading, this specific edition will do well for you. For study, I would get something that contains all the notes along with it. But other than that, this looks like it's going to be another great release from Thomas Nelson. That's it for the NET Bible Large Print Thinline Art Edition. So brothers and sisters, until next time, we'll see you around.